Vulcain, one of the most convincing reanimations of a historic watch brand in recent times. They started with the cricket, with historic divers and with the Grand Prix as a classic dress watch. And now Vulcain will add another variant with small seconds. So basics first, we have an automatic watch with a case diameter of 39mm, length lug to lug not yet stated, and a thickness of 12.7mm. Lug width is 20. The watch is equipped with a sapphire crystal with anti-reflective coating, a non-screw-down crown, and the water resistance is indicated with 50 meters. Movement is the Londoron L24 with a power reserve of 40 hours. And the watch comes on various leather straps with two dial colors, blue and green, and prices begin at 1,390 euros including VAT, so around 1,200 US dollars without VAT. Okay, the mission statement is very clear. A pure and uncluttered dress watch with a handsome dial as the main attraction. Everything is reduced to the core, so you have simple hands without lume, medium-sized numerals, minute track, and the name-giving small second that adds a bit of nostalgia to the watch. The first Grand Prix by Vulcain looks like this, and some people argued that this was a bit too pure. The small second might sound small, but we see clearly the enhancement in the design, although it might be a matter of taste. When creating a pure watch, it is important to treat every detail with the utmost attention, and that's exactly the strength here. Every element is tastefully done, and almost more important, with good-looking dimensions. The length of the hands is perfect, also the size of the numerals. We have a really large dial, and so there was enough room for the small seconds and the number 6. Often you see there's some sort of cutaway, which always annoys some people. Interesting is also that font, very 50s I find, and somewhat compressed. Every curve here is a bit wider horizontally, very notable on the 3 and 4 and 9. One could argue that it might look a bit chubby, that font, but it certainly adds something special to the design, something grounded and relaxed. And we have insane contrast, especially in case of the blue dial here. I think the blue is clearly the winner because it is very well chosen, rich, deep. And there is of course the Vulcain logo itself, which is in my opinion one of the most iconic looking words you find on watches. The high polished case now is relatively simple because it shouldn't deliver any sort of distraction. Looks pretty generic but makes sense together with the dial. And again, the dial is, compared to the case, large. So this watch will wear bigger, like a 40mm or even a 41mm watch. Purists now might argue though that this watch, which is clearly inspired by the 50s or even 40s, should have a more moderate diameter. In my opinion, this is a yes and no. There are of course these historic role models in smaller sizes, but also watches like the IWC Portuguesa, which was willingly made as large as possible to create that great legibility and some space for textures like sunburst effects. Next point should be the movement, because it creates some irritation. Wasn't Londoron calibers these old chronograph movements you find in many large watches made between the 40s and let's say mid-60s? These pieces often executed in gold and named chronograph Swiss, for example. Answer is no. These movements are made by the company Depper Swiss Movements, and so Londoron here is not more than a recently chosen brand name. The construction itself is basically the good old ETA 2824 caliber, and this caliber is old, the copyright protection is expired, and so everybody can produce it. Interesting is also the price. We've seen a severe inflation of watch prices in the last months and years, where even micro brands market their products very often over the 1K mark, often justified by the components, sometimes not. Here components and brand value would allow a higher price, but they stick with these 1300, which is a smart move, and it opens the brand Vulcain to mid-tier buyers. Remember, they started the reanimation of the brand with the cricket and a price tag well above the 3K mark. So attractive watch, absolutely in reach, but only with some patience because it is available from January the 21st on. And so I leave it there. Let me know what do you think about the Vulcain Grand Prix small second in the comments. Thanks a lot and see you next Monday to Watch of the Week.